Hello everybody, John from Movie Burners here, back with another movie review. Today I'm going to be discussing the sequel to one of my all-time favourite comic book movies. I'm talking about Guardians of the Galaxy 2 from last year. Now, the original was and still is, as I say, one of my favourite comic book films. Gun-weaved magic, rolling out a fresh concept in a fairly bloated genre and ultimately rewarding Disney for the enormous risk they took. It possessed everything: humour in spades, emotion, action, amazing visuals, and arguably one of the best soundtracks out there. It also had a quintet of characters that really anchored the film, transcending the story and forging an instant connection with the overwhelming majority of viewers. And it really was an impossible task to then better that piece of cinematic brilliance in the sequel. And whilst James Gunn didn't quite achieve the impossible here, he still got mighty damn close. All the favourites are back, and the same hilarious banter that made the first film is back with them. I've heard more than a few suggest that the humour was forced, that it didn't quite pay off or hit the heights of the first, and I can only go with my experience. And Drax, played by Bautista, alone had me in stitches at several points. He definitely served as comedic levity in this film, subsequently being robbed of a more beefier role in the action sequences, which was a minor disappointment. Chris Pratt as Quill, the other provider of near as many laughs, is a match made in heaven, to the point where, like Jackman and Downey Jr. as Wolverine and Iron Man respectively, I honestly couldn't envisage anybody else playing that role now. The film excels in the first and middle act when it strangely lacks a notable plot or villain, instead choosing to primarily focus on the quintet, prominent side characters notwithstanding, and the unique, almost dysfunctional relationship they seem to share with each other. Disney, caught on the hop originally, realised just how popular Baby Groot was going to be, and capitalised fully in a brilliant, incredibly cute opener that also lets the viewer know that the music in the second instalment is going to be every bit as good this time around. When Kurt Russell does finally return to the screen again as Quill's estranged father, and there's a much younger CG version at the beginning which I absolutely loved, then it becomes almost immediately apparent that something isn't quite ringing true with him. For one, his name is Ego, which is so glaringly not a name for a benevolent demigod. He attempts to reconnect with his prodigal son, explaining that he too has godlike powers, though slyly withholding his real motive until later on in proceedings. Meanwhile, Yondu, played by Rooker, the man who actually raised Quill, steps in to provide some much needed action and a change of pace as the former settles into a transcendental zen-like environment that is Ego's very own planet. How fitting was My Sweet Lord by George Harrison during their arrival at that planet? Very much so for me. Rooker was absolutely fantastic in this film, and the real standout performer for me. Just about everyone seemed to have family issues at some stage. Quill with Ego, Gamora with Nebula, Drax and his daughter, which made Yondu's arc in particular all the more meaningful, providing some real emotional resonance to the film as his dealings with both Rocket and Quill further fed into the family-dominant themes explored. If I was to have any criticisms, then it would probably be the underuse of Gamora, those annoying goal gets, and the way they continually made nuisance of themselves at pivotal points, and also the climatic battle between Ego and the Guardians. The latter's suitability or choice as a villain in general was another slight criticism I would have had of this film. Kurt Russell was amazing, don't get me wrong. I've said it before, I absolutely love the man as an actor, and I think his mere presence was felt here, believe me, but I just felt that Gunn looked upon the plot and Ego as an afterthought. His motivations and need for Quill were a little iffy, and what was that bizarre jelly plant turning into a weird city-consuming landslide thing all about? The gold aliens, as I says, were complete gits. I hate them that much, I refused to even Google their name. They were stupid and irrelevant to the story. As for the climatic battle, it just felt a little rushed, predictable, and a little CG heavy. It wasn't offensively bad or anything like that, but it was a small gripe nonetheless. Ultimately though, much like in the first film, it's all about the characters. They epitomise Guardians of the Galaxy for me, and it was them I came back to see. The story didn't have to be epic or a riveting tale full of complicated twists, and quite frankly it wasn't. It was more inward looking, focusing on emotion, and only really exploded into a galaxy-saving epic in the final act. And I'm pleased to say that Gunn, for me, delivered, and some in fleshing out the characters. He continued to develop the backstory of Gamora, her idiosyncratic relationship with Nebula, and even the self-titled Star-Lord himself, delving a little further back into his childhood and the relationship between him and Yondu in particular. He also delivered with an absolute belter of a soundtrack and the visuals that were borderline eye-porn at times, and I loved just about every minute of this film. Although it's not quite as good as the first one, there's not a gargantuan amount in it for me. If by some bizarre reason you haven't yet seen this fantastic film, then first of all, there's something up with you, and secondly, I absolutely implore you to go and give it a watch, because it's a blast of a film, and I'll be giving it a 4 out of 5. Remember guys, if you're enjoying the content we're putting out, then be sure to subscribe to us on YouTube and iTunes, and give us a little follow on Facebook at Movie Burner Entertainment and on Twitter at Movie Burners. You can also catch up with all the latest reviews we're putting out at the Movie Burner blog on movieburnerentertainment.org. Until the next time, goodbye.